How are you?
I'm very well.
Good.
How was your summer? Did you keep abreast of all the driver market shenanigans? What did you make of all that?
Well, thankfully we were staying out of it for a change. So it was good to have a summer break and a bit of downtime, recharge the batteries, get the engine regulations out, and focus on the second half of the year.
Yeah, must be nice not to be involved. Of course, yesterday we had the announcement of Audi coming into the sport in 2026. What's your reaction to that?
I think it's great news for Formula One. I mean, a premium brand like Audi, choosing to come into the sport is only good news, and we look forward to seeing them on the grid in 2026. They will be a formidable opponent. I've got no doubt about it when you look at their pedigree in motorsport. But it's great news for Formula One, and I'm looking forward to seeing them on the grid.
And of course, you say opponent, so not coming to Red Bull, I assume. How are the chats with Porsche going on? I assume that's all in hand.
We've been engaged in constructive discussion, obviously with Porsche, and in the meantime we're obviously focused on making sure that we have a competitive power unit for 2026. So the guys and girls back in Milton Keynes are doing an amazing job. We fired up the first prototype of 2026 just before the summer break, we've been recruiting aggressively. We brought some great talent into the team, and that is continuing to grow and evolve.
Yeah, future's looking bright. In terms of this weekend, why have you introduced the new engine components now?
Well, we felt we were going to need to introduce those components, at some point. So when you look at the calendar, Spa offers potentially some of the best overtaking opportunities. So you certainly don't want to do it in Singapore. So that's why we, together with numerous other teams, have elected to take it here.
And it's not linked to the freeze, there's no sort of upgraded element to it?
Sorry?
It's not linked to the freeze, obviously, next month. It's not linked to that.
No. So it's basically looking at the calendar and saying, where can you overtake? And this offers one of the best opportunities.
What was the mood like in the team when they found out that Daniel was leaving a year early?
Well, it was obviously a sad day for everyone in the team, for myself, for Daniel, because it's clear that was not the outcome that we had in mind when we started to work together. But at the same time, it's no secret that unfortunately, despite all the effort on his side, on our side, despite having some great highlights together like the win last year in Monza, we unfortunately simply didn't make it work. We couldn't manage to achieve the results that we wanted to achieve together, and that's why we ended up in this agreement in the end. Most important thing for me was that at any stage in the last several months, we always had an open and honest dialogue between each other to make sure there's no surprises, so to be clear on where we stand with each other. And that's why it's important now that we have clarity and that we focus now on these last 9 races that we work together with a clear commitment from both sides to make sure we still aim for some good highlights together.
Now, I know you said you're going to name his replacement in due course. What kind of driver are you looking to fill that seat?
First of all, I don't want to go into any specifics or names because it just creates headlines, and we made it clear that for us it's important this weekend that focuses on the news about Daniel, and then on the race weekend here as well. Shouldn't forget there's still an important quali in the race to do as well, and then we address the future from next year onwards. But the objective is clear. As a team, you want to have 2 drivers that manage together with the team to extract the maximum from the package we give them at any time. At the same time, it's even more important that we are aware of the task that we have as a team. We need to give the drivers a quick car. We know that we still have a lot of work to do there in the next years in order to do that. And if you put that all together, then hopefully in some years we're in a position to fight for race wins again at every single race weekend.
Awesome. And just finally, we had the news this weekend that Audi are joining from 2026. How important do you think it is for Formula One to be attracting big OEMs like that? And it must be quite cool to be fighting against other brands as well from a McLaren perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great news. If Porsche is also coming, then having 2 new big brands on board like Audi and Porsche is great news for Formula One, for the fans, also for us teams, because it will be great competition. I'm sure both of them will do a great job and will be competitive from the beginning. It will also be interesting to watch for the fans the internal battle there again between Porsche and Audi. I have been part of that myself during my Le Mans times. It'll be very interesting to watch as well, and looking forward to battle these guys on track.
Otmar, I'm guessing the summer break was pretty busy for you. What was it like, and what's the mood like in the team?
Yeah, the mood in the team is great. We're buoyant going into the break in fourth, and we had some time off where, you can't work on the car or progress the developments, so we had a lot of work in advance of the summer break, knowing that we're coming here and wanted to bring a few little upgrades like we've been doing all year, and we achieved that. We achieved right up to the summer break, and not enough parts because there wasn't enough time, but enough to get them on both cars and have a set of spares. So that's really good. We got to just keep pushing to make sure we're fourth at the end of the year, not at the break.
All right,
let's talk not just at the break.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's talk about drivers though. Obviously very much in the news over the course of the summer. How disappointed firstly were you that Fernando chose to leave, and how disappointed are you that Oscar, after all the backing that you put into him, doesn't want to be with you?
First with Fernando, we had good faith discussions and negotiations with him all the way up till the end, and we thought he was going to sign. Those were all the indications. In the end, I'm sure he negotiated with some others and saw that whatever was proposed there perhaps fitted his needs better, and that's what he chose, and you can't blame him for that. He was a free agent. We negotiated with him, and some others did too, and he made his choice, which is fair enough. Oscar, on the other hand, had a commitment to us. We had a commitment to him, and our commitment to him was to prepare him for Formula One and to also ensure that he had a seat in 2023, either with us or with another team. And we did all that to above and beyond what we committed to. And it's just disappointing that Oscar chose not to hold up his end of the commitment.
It must hurt considering the financial support you've given him.
Well, it hurts financially, but we'll get a good driver in the open seat that we have. We have great interest from a lot of drivers that are out there because I think our seat is in demand and sought after. So we'll be okay.
Who are you looking at for that seat? Ricardo is obviously available. He's been with you guys. It would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it, to have him back?
So there's a lot available. I think we're not in a hurry, so we haven't started anything in earnest, and what we're waiting for is the CRB on Monday to rule, and then we'll know the breadth of our choice that's available, and then we'll start looking at it, because whoever we choose has to fit in with our long-term goals, not just in the short term.
How important was it for Aston Martin to have another ex-world champion, bringing that pedigree, but also someone as experienced as Fernando inside the team?
For us it was very important because we want to progress, we want to move up the grid, and we need drivers with that caliber to make the next step. So for us to have someone like that, it's a privilege because it allows us to take the next step up.
Talking to Fernando, it feels like he could go on forever. He's loving racing so much. I remember when you were trying to keep Sebastian, you said, I hope he can stay long enough to enjoy the success of the team, and this is obviously a long-term project. Do you feel like Fernando is in it for long enough that he can enjoy success with you guys?
I think yes. I sense from our conversations that we were having, from the motivation and from us ourselves as well, I think this can be a very long relationship.
I know that Lance has been around for a long time now. We shouldn't consider him as inexperienced, but it's still useful for him to gain experience and know-how from Fernando, who's obviously been around from Formula 1 for a long time.
Yeah, I think everybody will gain from each other. You have seen yesterday, Sebastian was struggling a little bit with traffic in the morning, with the rain, with the red flag, and we had Lance as a consistent measure there, or consistent driver there, and he showed us where the car was yesterday. We thought we were a bit too far up in the morning. We think we were a bit too far high up in the afternoon. But you see that if you have two experienced drivers, like if one has an issue or if one has trouble, the other one can be there. So, and this is what Lance did yesterday. So don't underestimate him.
And just finally, we obviously had Audi announcing that they're going to come into Formula 1 for 2026. As a great brand like Aston Martin, is it cool to be competing against big OEMs and more that coming into Formula 1 and an attractive prospect?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's nice to have more manufacturers. It's nice to have also German manufacturers because we have no German race anymore. So from that point of view, it's great to have them there, and it will be nice competition, and it will just add value to our sport. So from that point of view, we are all happy that they are there.